Well, hello everybody. It is I, Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making another video out of the Treasure Valley here in Boise, Idaho. As you know, I am a master automotive technician. Well, I'm well known as a master automotive technician in my community, but I also service marine, ATVs, and small equipment alike. Right now I've got a few different jobs. You've got a timing and valve job going on this that I'm waiting for the correct parts to come in on. You've got a carburetor that I'm getting ready to finish rebuilding, a Italian-made rototiller, a BCS 715. I've got a carburetor off of a weed eater. Trying to get you some better focus there. That I'm doing. I've got a BMW head gasket job I'm finishing up, and then I've got the Chrysler timing water pump job that I'm finishing up. But right now we're gonna replace the water pump on a 1997 Johnson Evinrude 115 outboard motor. As you see, it's a beautiful deck boat. So the first thing that you really want to do, and I probably should have recorded this, is go ahead and tilt your outboard all the way up. Okay, and when you do this, that's because you're going to have your locking mechanism in place. Go ahead and move your locking mechanism up and then tilt her all the way back down again. Okay, and this is going to allow you to work on it. Now the hard part of this job is, for me, what I think is getting the shift mechanism, which is going to be down inside of here. I don't know if you can see it wiggling around in there. Okay, so to get to that, the first thing you're going to do is obviously take the cover off of it. All right, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove your breather. Now, some people may go further and go ahead and remove this cover that you see here. You see it's got bolts here, here. It's got some screws here and here. And so to remove that in order to get down inside of there, the way that I opted to do it was I went ahead and I removed my pin. As you can see there, there's a pin, and then that allowed me to move my shift mechanism all the way forward, and then that gave me the ability that I could to get down inside of there, to get down to it right through here and go ahead and get that out. Now what that's going to do is that's going to disconnect your shift mechanism, as you can see right here for the lower unit. Okay, and so the next step is going to be, once you've got your shift mechanism disconnected, is to go ahead, and it's all right to go ahead and tilt it back up. Okay, because we're going to start removing the lower unit that you see here. And we're going to do that by removing these bolts right here. Now, be careful of your propeller, especially if you if it's an aluminum one. They can tend to be sharp, and it's not necessarily fun or good to get cut by a propeller. So one thing I want to point out right here, this is our steering, okay? And so before you take this apart, you're going to want to go ahead and mark this so you can make sure that you put it back exactly where you took it off of, because if not, they'll take this out on the lake and it'll be, you know, the steering won't feel right on it at all. So the next thing we're going to do is put some marks here. Alright, so I've just taken some nail polish and I've marked it, and I'm going to remember my measurement here. But see, since it's not perfectly right on, I'm going to go ahead and just use those marks as well. So now I'm going to prepare to remove the lower unit. And again, we're going to do that by removing all of these bolts you see here. Two here, two on the other side. We have some underneath here as well. Okay, so before we pull this off, I'd like to show you. Now remember, what we did first was we tilted it up, lifted our locking mechanism up, tilted it all the way back down. We then took our shift mechanism pin apart, moved our shifter all the way forward, went in through here with a 10mm socket, and we took our shift mechanism apart. Which at that point, that disconnects this shaft in here. I'm having a hard time. I can't see the camera. So that disconnects this shaft in here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it here. But yeah. So that disconnects that shaft. And then from there, we went ahead and we tilted it all the way. Well, tilted it back up, not all the way back up. But yeah, we tilted it up. And then we loosened 1, 2, 3, 4. Marked our steering. 5, 6, 7 bolts. Now these are going to be 14 and 16 millimeter bolts. And now that we got that loosened, you can see that our bottom unit is now separated. So what we're going to do next is just go ahead and get everything apart and get it on the workbench. Okay, folks, and there you have it. The lower unit has been removed. Now, I'm just going to warn you, the hardest thing about this job is removing your shift mechanism. And the hardest thing about this job is putting it back together. Sometimes they come apart very easily, and they're very easy to access. Sometimes they're right here on the side of the engine or on the other side. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes putting them back together, you just have to be patient and wrestle with it. So now that we've got the bottom half off, I'm going to go ahead and put my cover back on, and I will show you what the bottom unit looks like. And there she is on the workbench. I've covered my propeller with a towel to protect it. And in case you're wondering, here is your water pump. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to clean all this crud out of here, all this dirt and sand. And we'll be replacing this whole water pump. Alright, folks. Well, this will conclude part 1 of our outboard water pump removal and replacement. It's Saturday afternoon, and I've been working hard all week, so it's time for me to take a break. I will see you again Monday morning when we will finish out this water pump. Thank you, everybody, for supporting me. Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician.